With the recent release of Kirby and the Forgotten Land for the Nintendo Switch, I really wanted to showcase certain aspects of the game as it's absolutely jam-packed full of content, leading to hours upon hours of enjoyability. One of the first things I want to look at is the amazing secrets you can find throughout this wacky title, specifically counting down the top 15 best. Oh yeah, before I get started with this video, my name is Copycat, and if you haven't yet, then please subscribe to my channel, hitting that bell button to stay notified when I upload new videos. Coming in at number 15 is a feature that makes Kirby even cuter, if that's possible at all, and the emotes he can perform at any time in the game. This is done by pressing a certain direction on the D-pad, where pressing up has you waving to say hi, pressing left has him perform a little celebration, pressing right has him looking around all confused, and pressing down has him taking a seat. Even better is that you can use these emotes to interact with different characters around Waddle Dee Town, who usually are very excited to see you, except King Dedede, who just gives this subdued reaction. Although not necessarily a secret, as copy abilities are very common throughout the Forgotten Lands, there is one that at least is rarer than the others in Crash, which if you didn't know, self-destructs Kirby causing a massive explosion. This ability can only be obtained if you suck up the bomber enemy, which only appears in select levels and will explode when it drops on you from above. This copy ability can be evolved into something called Time Crash, which stops time in a wide area around Kirby, immobilizing enemies and obstacles. You won't see this one if you don't actively find it yourself, as it isn't a vital part of the main game, but is the focus of one of the extra Treasure Road levels. Next, we're going to look at a couple of secret helpful Waddle Dees that appear once you complete certain things in the game. The first you can make show up is the Wise Waddle Dee, which spawns on a bench in Waddle Dee Town once you beat the boss of the Tropical Woods. This Wise Waddle Dee gives you some information, some useful like how to find certain blueprints and hidden Waddle Dee locations, and some somewhat random, like world record stats and total uses of certain items and abilities. It's unfortunate that this is the only way to see world records, as it would be nice to have an actual in-game leaderboard, so hopefully that's something Nintendo adds pretty soon in the future. The second that you can unlock is Trader Waddle Dee, who spawns when you beat any of the Coliseum challenges, letting you trade rare stones for extremely rare gacha figurines. This is a really important feature for anyone who wants to fully 100% the game, as getting the figurine you need from the gacha machine is random, so you might have some difficulty getting the last few. One really cool place in Waddle Dee Town is the Waddle Dee Cinema, that allows you to rewatch every single one of the game's cinematics. That is, of course, as long as you've already seen them during your regular playthrough. If you do collect each and every movie, then you'll be rewarded with the Usher Waddle Dee figurine, which is pretty cool, but I would have loved to see way more like a secret movie, or I don't know, something else like that. Coming in at number 11 is a cool training feature that can be found in the far right room of the weapon shop called Mr. Sandbag, who allows you to test out different copy abilities and their upgraded versions. Even though it doesn't sound that secretive, I actually had no clue he existed up until about halfway through my playthrough, and found it really helpful in trying to understand what your abilities do and how much damage can be dealt. One very interesting feature that's been implemented in the game is present codes that deliver certain prizes to Kirby's home depending what you type in. For the most part, these codes can be found randomly in different places around Waddle Dee Town, but I'm gonna guess that there's even more that would work that are hidden Easter eggs from the developer HAL Laboratories. Actually, during editing this video, a few more have been discovered that aren't from the game and instead can be found through different media types like promos, social media, or even the game's guide. However, I believe there could be even more out there, and if you know about any of those crazy ones, then please let me know in the comments below. Because this entry is so similar to Super Mario 3D World, I knew that there would be secrets in the game's overworld, and I was right. If you prod around in the right areas, you can actually uncover some of the different treasure roads that are sort of minigame levels that are a great break from the regular gameplay. There are so many of these levels that are a blast to play, to the point where I may make a video on them in the future, as I think they're one of the best parts of the game. collecting and finding coins is a huge part of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, where coming in at number 8 is the rarest in the blue coins, that are very well hidden. An example of some really crazy ones includes the one across the rooftop gap in downtown Grasslands, or the one where you have to backtrack after you get the sword copy ability in a rival point, and chop down the blades of grass. There are probably dozens of these well-hidden coins scattered across the Forgotten Lands, and I'd love to hear some of the best you guys have found in the comments below. Once you beat the base game by defeating the Fecto Alphilis in an Avengers level showdown, a brand new area opens up called the Isolated Isles, which has levels that are a composite of stages from previous areas in the game. This can be accessed by talking to Carol atop the building in the west part of Waddle Dee Town, where this place offers a much tougher challenge than anywhere else in the Forgotten Land, as you'll see some of the hardest enemies and bosses. This extra area is a great addition for fans who may have felt like the base game was just way too easy, but at least here they do up the ante a bit. Up next, we're going to look at a couple of music Easter eggs that pop up throughout the game, starting with the cool Waddle Live corner stage that appears in Waddle Dee Town after you've beaten the main game. Here you can hear the band play all the songs that show up in this title, and money can be donated to them to upgrade their stage and song list. However, an even cooler Easter egg with this band is that the color of music note they produce actually correlates to one of the 4 composers who wrote the song. If there's yellow music notes, then Yuta Ogasawara composed it. If they're blue, then it was by Hirokazu Ando. If they're green, then it was written by Yuki Shimoka. And if they're purple, it was created by Jun Ishikawa. This pretty obscure Easter egg actually showed up in past entries in the sound test option, something I'm at least glad they paid homage to in this one. The only other cool musical secret I want to talk about are the sounds that the birds make as they're actually singing the game's main theme. Just listen really closely. It's really amazing that they added something so intricate for fans to find out on their own. I won't lie, the most trouble I had throughout the entirety of the Forgotten Land was with the Colosseum's Ultimate Cup Z, or Z, which is the final hardest challenge in that boss fighting arena. If you're actually able to make it to the very end and somehow beat the incredibly unforgiving Chaos Fecto Alphilis, then you'll be rewarded with a few goodies, including 2,500 coins, 3 rare stones, a special figurine, a brand new picture, and the spawning of Trader Waddle Dee in the town plaza. Honestly, just playing this game mode and completing it is more satisfying than what you even receive as a prize, but I do appreciate extra content like this to keep you playing once the game's over. One really cool inclusion that I had no idea about initially is that there's a written Kirby language in this title that can actually be translated to spell out a few Easter eggs. For example, the giant Ferris wheel spells out Wanderia, the theme park photo stand says, "Wish you were here," and the sign in the car shop reads, "Holine Auto Custom," whatever Holine means. There is so much to decipher in this game as the written language is everywhere, so try looking for some yourself and see what you end up translating. At number 3 is an amazing minigame found in Waddle Dee Town called Tilt and Whirl, which if you didn't know is clearly an homage to the Tilt and Tumble Game Boy entry. This is further cemented by the fact that you have to use motion controls to maneuver Ball Kirby through the maze-like apparatuses, just like you had to do in that Game Boy game. Including the extra hard challenges, which adds enemies and a tighter time frame, there are 6 levels in total to complete, and you can claim your prize of 3 rare stones, which isn't much, but it's still something. Coming in at number 2 are the secrets that unlock after you fully 100% the game, meaning you've completed all the missions, cleared all the treasure roads, rescued every single Waddle Dee, collected every figurine, unlocked every copy ability, beaten every Coliseum Cup, collected every Kirby house picture, finished all 3 levels of the Tilt and Roll and Help Wanted minigames, and captured the legendary Bling Blipper fish. Once you do all this, a special screen will appear congratulating you, and 2 special statues will appear in the town square. Unfortunately, there's not much else. It seems to be a common theme in this game to give away very small rewards for doing something most would consider a massive undertaking, And this situation is no different. Without a doubt, the secret that deserves the #1 spot in this video is the hidden HAL rooms that have become a staple of the series, where as of right now, 3 have been found throughout the Forgotten Lands. The first to be discovered can be found at the very end of Rocky Rollin' Road, where if you stand on the specific tree and look in the distance, you'll see a few floating targets. After you shoot at and hit them, a secret staircase will spawn that leads directly to that far-off building. Once you're on top, you'll need to traverse down the side of the fallen skyscraper while you reach the HAL room area, where if you break the star blocks, you'll be rewarded with a few coins and figurines. The second HAL room that was discovered was found in the burning, churning power plant level, in an extremely secretive spot. To pull this off, you'll need to get as far as entering the vent that contains the treasure chest and a few coins around it, which will then trigger the levels beginning to reopen and a ladder to appear leading to a higher up area. In this place, old 8-bit Kirby music can be heard, and once the crates are broken, a HAL logo will be uncovered, which is a crazy discovery. How someone just randomly decided to go backwards to the beginning of the level is beyond me, but I'm glad someone found it out as I could showcase it for you guys in this video. Even weirder is that a third HAL room has been found, which shows up in the Wanderia Dream Parade level during the car race sub-level. To get this to work, you need to cross the finish line with exactly 86 seconds left on the timer, which will then trigger a HAL logo to appear from the void below, giving you extra coins and figurines. Apparently why it needs to be 86 seconds all has to do with some sort of Japanese wordplay where 86 is said as haru, which to a Japanese person sounds like HAL. Haru? HAL, I'm not sure. Now, I have a Japanese background and I've never heard of this, but apparently the number 86 has been significant in other games in this series, so this might actually have some truth to it. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. If I left any out, then please let me know in the comments below because I'd love to see them. Also, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Hope you guys all have a good day and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.